Welcome to SCLD Podcast. Today we are in the final day of February and the first week of March. I'm Erin Dodge. I'm the Communication Specialist with Spokane County Library District.
And I'm Andrea Brumbaugh.
And what's your role here at the library? I don't know if folks know.
I don't know if they do. I'm the social media specialist. So I'm the one when you write us on social media and ask us a question, I'm the one who's responding to you.
Wonderful. And we're on a lot of different social media channels.
Yes, we are. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Pinterest, YouTube. Is that all of them? LinkedIn.
So we've got you covered. If you like any of those social media channels, come follow us, like us, comment on our posts. Andrea's there to answer your questions.
Yep.
And we'll see you on social media.
Yeah.
So this week we have the start of March. Spring is coming. Mm-hmm. We can look forward to spring.
I know. So ready.
So what's happening this week? We still have some gardening programs going on. Yeah. And we had to shift a little bit on those, and some of them times got moved around and different things. So if folks want to do some gardening programs this week, what do they do?
Go to our website, scld.org, and then go to the events calendar, and you can find all our programs on there, not just the gardening ones, but and that way you'll know for sure what the times are and everything. Yeah.
Okay, and register online for those.
Register online, yeah.
Perfect. And continuing, or the first one of this week, this is the Study Buddy homework help. We talked last week with librarian Melanie, and we talked about this program, and you don't have to sign up for it.
Right.
You go to our website and you click the link to get into the Zoom program, and it's for 2nd to 5th graders, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
So elementary school age,
right?
And they're get help with math and reading and writing and whatever homework.
Right, any homework help that they need, yeah.
And volunteers are there to help and online.
Yeah.
So that's
great.
And
that starts this week, right?
Yes, it does.
On Wednesdays.
And then we have something coming up, but we're not going to really talk about it just yet. It's about if you're an entrepreneur or you're considering starting a business, or you're just even, you've started a business, but maybe you're a little stuck. Or we're going to talk about that with librarian Stacy Goddard, who is our head of our business librarian group, business and careers group. And she's going to talk about that. So hang on. We're going to talk about that. Don't go anywhere. But we have other programs this week. So tell us a little bit more about what else is going on.
Well, Storytime Shorts every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Facebook at 10 a.m.
Perfect.
And those are just online story times. And if you miss them, you can watch them on our YouTube channel.
And we have a playlist just for those.
Yes, just for the Storytime Shorts.
Wonderful. And then Science from Home.
Yep, Science from Home is also another one that we do on Facebook. This one's on Saturdays, every Saturday at 11 a.m. And it's just really fun science experiments that you can do. Kids, it's geared towards around 4th grade, but anybody can have fun doing those. Yeah. And it's all with just things you can find in your household.
And the science concepts librarian Molly does these, and she's always changing them. Yeah. Every week's a new concept.
Right.
And we have done this series of experiments before, so if you've done them before, you might recognize some of it. But if you haven't done it before, this is brand new to you. And they're always a lot of fun and household items.
Right.
You don't have to go.
Yeah, I think there's maybe one or two that you might have to have something a little different than you might not have at home. Yeah. But we have a list of the supplies on there, so you can see exactly what you'll need.
And if you watch it and you don't have all the supplies, you could always get the supplies and then watch it again later, because we have it on YouTube, we have it on Facebook.
Correct.
Perfect. Yeah. That sounds great. And gardening, just more gardening. Lots of gardening programs going on this week. Spring is about to start, and now's the time to get ready for gardening.
Yeah. And we also have the online story times.
Oh,
which are live and interactive, and those are Thursday evenings and Friday mornings. Yes. And those you do have to sign up for, and you can kind of interact with the librarians that way.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Well, thank you, Andrea, for talking about this week, and now we're going to talk about Entrepreneurial Mindset with Stacy Goddard.
Yes, and Stacy will be here.
Hi, Stacy. Welcome.
Hi, Erin. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And we're going to be talking about a program that's starting this week. Yes. And it's called the Entrepreneurial Mindset?
Yes, yes,
Am
that's
I
right.
close?
You're exactly right.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to make you spell entrepreneurial because I can barely spell it
There's a
myself.
lot of E's.
There are, and I always miss at least one of the
I
E's.
think I mess up the R's and the E's in there because there's a couple.
Exactly, exactly. We're very excited to offer this program, and it's an 8 week online program. We had
Okay.
to unfortunately move it to online because of restrictions and everything going
Sure.
on with staffing levels. We will hopefully offer another series in later this year, a series or two that will be in person.
Okay.
But the entrepreneurial mindset is, I brought a prop. It's
Okay.
based on a book called Who Owns the Ice House?
Okay.
And it's by Clifton Talbert and Gary Schoeninger. And Clifton Talbert writes about his experiences working for his uncle in the late 50s, early 60s in, I think it was Mississippi, somewhere in the South, and what he learned working with his uncle about kind of what it takes to generate that drive to succeed and to
Yes.
recognize opportunities that others might see as just problems and kind of move on. So the the co-author in this book, Clifton, is the one who has the life experiences,
I see.
and he worked at his uncle's ice house
Okay.
and got to observe his uncle recognizing some problems like smaller, lower income houses not being able to afford big blocks of ice. This was in the 50s when refrigerators were not
We're not common.
right. They were not the fancy giant appliances they are now,
Okay.
and people would need to have blocks of ice to keep their perishable food
Okay.
safe. But smaller families or families without as much money couldn't afford these
Right.
big blocks of ice,
Okay.
and so Clifton's uncle realized, oh, we could sell smaller pieces,
Okay.
and so he kind of opened up this entire market that the bigger companies were ignoring because it wasn't worth their time. And so, parallel to that, the co-author, Gary Schoeninger, interviewed dozens or maybe hundreds of entrepreneurs around the country to find out what were the commonalities, what were the things that made some entrepreneurs successful and some not successful.
Yeah.
And they came up with these 8 different aspects that
Oh,
make
wow.
a successful entrepreneur.
Is this the mindset part?
Yes, yes.
The 8 aspects of kind of what,
Yeah.
okay.
And please steer me back on course if I'm going
No,
too
you're
far.
you're great.
afield.
No, it's good to know. There's 8 of them.
There's 8, and so that's why we have an 8 week course. Each
I
week
see.
focuses on one of the particular
Now,
aspects.
if I'm an entrepreneur, do I need all 8?
No, no, but I think
doesn't-
what this class will do is,
Okay.
our workshop series will do is help people recognize
Okay.
what things they need to do to cultivate and become a successful entrepreneur and just kind of change maybe some of their ways of thinking. If people have read my blogs or listened to previous podcasts that you've had me on, I use my parents as an example all the time. They are small business owners. They wouldn't consider themselves an entrepreneur because
Oh.
and kind of the difference is
Okay.
entrepreneurs are kind of looking at one of the 8 aspects is opportunity, seeing an opportunity that can solve a problem that exists.
see.
So, like, I'm going to design this widget to help address this issue that no one else has figured out how to address.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take the action to start like developing it, testing it, and talking to potential customers
Okay.
and seeing whether or not this is a viable strategy.
So if I'm a small business owner, should I not take this course, or should I maybe if I'm looking at starting something new?
I think that this is a good program for whether someone is looking at themselves as a small business owner, they're thinking about starting a business, but they aren't sure
Okay.
what they might want to do, or they consider themselves an entrepreneur or a budding entrepreneur,
Okay.
and they have a number of ideas but aren't really sure where to go, like what the first step would be. One of the other things about this program is they use what they call an opportunity discovery canvas, which kind of takes people through step by step identifying what the problem is, like what is the problem that you see, who does it affect, and how is it currently being dealt with. And then the next phase is kind of the solution phase where you describe what your potential solution would be, how it's different from things that have been tried before that are currently out there, and if there is a market out there if you think people will pay for it,
Oh, wow.
pay for the service or the good. And you do that, not in a bubble or just thinking, oh, this is a great idea. Of course, everybody will buy it.
Sure.
You need to talk to people, and you need to talk to people that aren't like your best friend or your
Right.
spouse who
Or
are
your
gonna
family or your
right.
mom.
You need to do some real talk.
Yes.
And get some feedback from people, and
Okay.
sometimes that's hard. It's hard to hear, but one of the things we're hoping with this workshop series is that you'll have participants will be able to share these kinds of discussions amongst themselves. Virtually, we'll have a discussion board. We'll have at least a couple of sessions where we'll be able to talk.
The same folks will be together for the whole
Yes.
8 weeks, and,
Yeah.
and they'll get to know one another and help each other along with learning
Right.
the content about the entrepreneurial mindset.
Right.
Sounds like, okay.
And then when we get to the solution stage and we're talking about, like, does this seem like something someone would pay for? You have classmates or cohort members that are interested in what you're doing and invested in the process, but they're also, not a relative or a friend. So
Right.
they will tell you straight, like, this doesn't seem like it's viable, or
Okay.
have you thought about this? And then the third part that they go through that we go through in the Opportunity Discovery Canvas is called connection. So how do you know that, when this is something that can be successful? How are people going to purchase it or access it? And why would they want to purchase it? So
Right.
it really, the other thing that we really like about this, the library staff, is it kind of takes you through the very beginning, like, what kinds of things are you interested in?
Right.
What do you like to do? So when you were talking about who might be interested in taking this class, it's those people that maybe, like, I know I could come up with something great. And the first week or two lays the groundwork to get people thinking about what their passions are, what they're interested in, things they've observed around those passions and interests, and what they might be able to change.
That's great. And thinking about this, somebody could have a very specific niche sort of idea that serves a market out. Maybe it's a hobbyist group, or it doesn't. I'm thinking entrepreneurs don't have to have like the big giant ideas. Like
Right.
you don't doesn't have to be like space travel or
Right.
how
Right.
to save the earth from global warming or whatever. They don't have to have any big giant idea
Right.
to be an entrepreneur. It can be smaller, more specific ideas, targeted, or even a small idea but broadly used potentially.
Exactly.
Okay.
And if I can
Yes.
point out one more thing, one of the other things that's really great about this program and the work and the interviews that Schoeninger did for this book is that they're talking to real life people like you and me. They're not talking to Bill Gates or, Tim, I can't remember the Apple guy's name. Thank you, Tim Cook. So they're talking,
Elon Musk.
right? It's nothing bad about those executives and entrepreneurs, but
Sure.
they're so out of most people's league that it's just not relatable. And you think,
Right.
well, I'm never going to be Bill Gates.
Well, no.
And so there's a lot of great examples. And part of the content for these workshops is we're going to look at interviews that happened with business owners that are regular people just like you or
good.
me, who started, a moving truck maybe, or a moving company that started with one truck and a guy and his friend, and how they, the sacrifices that they made and the decisions that they made early on to be successful.
I see. Great. That's wonderful. So achievable by anybody who's this is going to help them achieve or look at and discover kind of a business and an entrepreneurial venture.
Right.
Okay. Or even if they have something going on, kind of give them more direction, ideas, groundwork. Okay.
And just even talking about like self-talk and how our approach to things is. So really looking at something that's a problem as a potential opportunity.
Yes.
And that's not to say that we're all going to be able to solve every single thing, but it is definitely, I think we all know those people where everything is a problem and it's always insurmountable. And that mindset is not the entrepreneurial mindset that's going to help move things forward and potentially be successful business
So
opportunities.
problems are opportunities.
Exactly.
For the entrepreneur.
Yep, exactly. You've
All
got
right.
it. You don't even have to take the class
Well,
now.
I think I might if I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I'm just fine doing what I'm doing right now, though.
I am as well.
All right. Well, thank you, Stacy. Oh, you know what?
welcome.
Before we go, I have
Sure.
one more idea. One more idea. Hello. One more question.
Sure.
We have some other things coming up for folks with businesses or besides that talk about resources at the library.
Yes, we do. We've got a resource present. There's probably a better way to say this, but we're going to do an overview of our digital resources
Okay.
for business owners, entrepreneurs, folks that are thinking about want to do a little market research. And I don't have the dates in front of me, but I know we have one in April and one in May.
And we might have you back on to talk
Sure.
about those before
Yeah.
those happen. And we have lots of resources in our digital library. So you can find that at scld.org.
Yes.
And just click on digital library, filter for business, and they're all right there. But you guys, your team is going to
Yeah.
delve into those a little bit, demonstrate how they work.
And that might be
in April
something
and May.
that's more appealing to people who don't want to commit to the 8-week.
Yeah, the
workshop
8-week
series.
is definitely for that entrepreneurial mindset.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. This is fascinating. Starting this week, sign up today, tomorrow, because it's happening
It's
really
happening.
fast.
It is.
And if it's full, we're hoping to do it again in the summer.
We will do it again. We're hoping once in the summer and then once in the fall. So
Okay, wonderful. Thank
Yeah.
you, Stacy.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Erin.
it. And you have a great week and a great March.